Hey crew, my name is Morgan Rigger and I am a past biology chemistry teacher turned Beachbody coach and also franchise owner. And if you've seen recently, myself and my fiance, Steven, just announced our pregnancy. And I think I've contributed to most of those announcement views on that video because it just melts my heart. When we were deciding how we wanted to announce it, we kind of talked back and forth like, you know, what's us? What's important to us? And we're not really the people to book a professional photography session and have these perfect photos. You know, that's not us. As you can see, I'm at home working like in my sweats, and he just said, you know what, Morgs, the most important thing to us is our families. And so we decided, we shared the news with a photo, kind of a typography thing I made on Christmas Day, and we're able to show our families and our grandparents and get the reactions. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure you go check it out. My dad's reaction is my favorite. So we decided to share it that way because yes, it's about us and us wanting to start a family, but we're so close to our families and our parents, our grandparents, our siblings that, you know, it's just as exciting for them. I think I cry every time I watch that video. So let me know what you think of it if you have seen it. And I just edited on my phone, took the clips on my phone on Christmas Day and edited it using the iMovie app. So nothing crazy. But if you've been following my journey along with me, I actually started sharing it a year ago, but it started even a year before that, dealing with post-pill amenorrhea. And when we announced our pregnancy announcement, I got a bunch of messages coming in asking me to, if I could, make a video about how I figured this all out, when it started 2 years ago to now announcing that we're pregnant. And you have to bear with me. One of the side effects right now is me being short of oxygen. So I have to catch my breath a lot more. But I said yes. I didn't even know what I had, it really existed and nobody talked about it. And I had to do a lot of research and figuring out on my own. So if I could help somebody else figure this out, you know, that's what I want to do. So I'll take you back 2 years ago, December 2015? Yeah, December 2015. Steve and I were like, okay, you know, family is in our future, kids are in our future, so maybe I should stop taking the birth control pill just so we can start to get my body back adjusted. And we weren't like, yes, we want to have kids right now. We were just starting to think about it and being like, okay, you know, we need to start thinking about the future. So I had been taking birth control for 10 years. So I decided in December of 2015 to stop taking it. And I went online, I did my research, you know, how long does it take your body to get back into normal routine? And the consensus was about 3 months. And I even messaged my good girlfriend who is a doctor, same thing. I talked to my doctor, same thing, give your body about 3 months. So went off of it, didn't think much of it because again, we weren't like, yes, we want to have kids right now. It was just, if it happens, okay, it happens, we're ready. If it doesn't, no big deal. So stopped taking it in December of 2015 and almost all of 2015 went by and I wasn't really worried. I was honestly kind of like, this is nice. No period? I'll take it, right? But once September, October started to roll around, I was like, shoot. In December, it's gonna be a year of no cycles. And I thought, something's got to be going on. This is not normal. Based on my research, people said if it doesn't happen in a year, like, you know, definitely start figuring some things out. So in October, I made an appointment with my family doctor, went to him, and he basically just said, let's wait a year. A year is totally normal, especially for someone, you know, who's active like you, who doesn't have a ton of body fat. And I realize that that can happen. You lose your period if you're extremely active, but you know, I looked at my BMI, I looked at my body fat, like everything was healthy, and he agreed, but was like, let's just wait the year. So within those next 3 months, I just started diving into a lot of research on the computer. I bought the book Taking Control of Your Fertility by Toni Weschler, I think it is. Highly recommend that book. I wish it would be given to all girls in high school. I would do things a lot differently, and I just picked out the pieces that pertain to my journey, so I highly recommend that book. Again, went back to him in December and nothing had happened. So I asked to, you know, what next steps can I take? So I told him what I had discovered. So I would like to go see a naturopath doctor. I also read that acupuncture had helped a lot of people. So he said, yeah, like none of that's gonna cause harm, like definitely try it out. So I think, what was my first step? I read the book. I went to a naturopath. I found a naturopath in the city, which was like 4 hours away. So I made an appointment and went there. Was it great? I don't know. I mean, I only went once. She recommended a bunch of supplements, so I dropped about $300 there. A bunch of different supplements, tried all that for like 3 months, started seed cycling, which was suggested by her, and you can Google seed cycling. It has a lot to do with your hormones, so I started seed cycling as well. I started eating a higher fat diet, which was fine with me. I exercised less, I did some low impact stuff, and nothing came out of that. So a lot of money down the drain, but that's okay. I'm figuring it out. So next step, I went to acupuncture. And I did this for a couple months as well. So we basically she was an ovulation or a fertility acupuncturist. So we did different treatments. So she would do like a stimulation treatment, and then we were kind of shooting it in the dark when I was actually in my cycle and ovulating. And then we would do ovulation treatments on the ovaries, which she came in, you know, couple times, and you had to basically aggravate your ovaries with the acupuncture needles. It wasn't super comfortable, but we made it happen. So after probably a couple months at least, of driving back and forth to the city for acupuncture appointments 3 times a week about, that wasn't working. So I kind of stopped doing that. And then what was next? Oh my gosh, read the book, seed cycling, changing diet, changing exercise. So the first year went by, didn't do much. This was all in that second year. Holistic doctor, acupuncture, and then I think it was midway through 2016, that second year, that I was like, I went to my family doctor and was like, okay, I would like to see a specialist, because my worry wasn't like, I want to have kids right now and that's just it. Like, I was okay with it happening in the future, but I thought, okay, if something actually is wrong and we have to start going through, say, IVF, that wait list where I live is a couple years long. So if I just leave things for, you know, another year and don't figure them out and then realize we need IVF or something like that, that's tacking on years. So I was being proactive. So he's like, okay. So he sent me to a specialist in the city about 4 hours away again. I went for my first appointment, and I saw him, explained the situation, got blood work with him. Blood work came back super normal. So this was a couple appointments back and forth, 4 hours away in the city. Got my blood work back, went to see him again, and he said, blood work looks great. Like, you're probably one of the healthiest people I've ever seen. And he said, I really don't think you have anything to worry about. I said, okay. So he said, what I want to try is for you to take progesterone, and I want to see if you get withdrawal bleeding, because if you do, that's a good thing. And it means things are normal. Your progesterone, your hormones are probably just a little low and it's not triggering ovulation. So I got a prescription for, I forget the actual name of it, but it's a progesterone medication. Took that for a week and you wait to see if you get withdrawal bleeding. You want that. I did not get it. So you can imagine what's going through my head. So went back to see him and you know, he was great. He said, okay, let's just try it again. And I was like, really? Like, are you sure? And he's like, let's just try it again. So we did it again. Took the progesterone for a week and waited, and it happened. I got withdrawal bleeding. Never so excited for that, right? And that was great. So went back to him, told him what happened. Oh, just wait. So I got withdrawal bleeding, and then you kind of wait to see if your cycle naturally starts again after that. Mine did not. Went back to him, explained what had happened, and he said, okay, that's good. And he said, basically, either eventually you will get it back, or you might just be one of those people that need a drug to stimulate ovulation when you're ready to have a baby. He said, I actually deal with a lot of people that need this drug. A common one is called Clomid. You take it and it stimulates ovulation. I actually deal with a lot of people that need this drug to ovulate. And he's like, you just might be one of those people. So left there and was like, okay, thankfully nothing's wrong with me. But in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, when do we decide to take this drug? Is this drug even gonna work? But he assured me, you know, I wasn't probably an IVF candidate. There's probably nothing wrong with me. This was just the way it was gonna be. So Steve and I decided, let's just leave it at that. We had a lot of trips planned with Beachbody last year. And that fall we were, oh my gosh, we went to Vegas a couple times for Beachbody meetings, and then we were in the UK because coaching launched there. But it was in October of 2017, coaching launched in the United Kingdom. So we booked a trip. We booked a trip, stayed at a house with some other coaching friends, had an amazing time, drank lots, ate lots, all that stuff. Came back home, and about 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, I got a period. I was like, what? Praise the Lord, all on my own. Don't know how, don't know why. I'll blame it on the UK and their food and champagne. Got one. This is great. So I was like, okay, well, let's wait till next month, see if another cycle comes. And it didn't. So I was kind of like, okay, we're back to square one. So it was coming on, so December 2015, stop birth control. December 2015, stop birth control. December 2016, started seeking professional help, and it was almost December 2017. So Steve and I started talking, and we're like, okay, you know, maybe it's time that I book an appointment with the specialist again to try this drug, because who knows, maybe it's not gonna work too. Again, we were always thinking ahead, like this could take another year to work, right? So this is how December played out, which should be a movie. So again, this was all in Decembers. December 2015, stopped birth control. 2016, started seeking professional help. December 2017, this is how it played out. Steven's sister comes over one morning at the start of December and was like, you guys, I need to talk to you. Comes in our door, crying, doesn't say anything, pulls out 4 pregnancy tests and was like, I'm pregnant. Oh my God, so freaking excited. They did not expect it, but unreal. So beginning of December, Steven's sister found out she was pregnant. Amazing. So all throughout these past 2 years, I had been taking pregnancy tests on and off because you don't know if you're getting your period, you don't know if you're pregnant, or you don't know if anything's happening. And you guys know how expensive those pregnancy tests are. So what I did was actually bought like a bulk box from Amazon where it's just kind of the strips, but the lines are pretty faint, and you know, it's not like the ones from the drugstore where it's like pregnant, not pregnant, because you start adding those up when you're constantly testing, it gets pretty pricey. So I had these Amazon ones, which, you know, tons in a box. I was using those. So she brings over these pregnancy tests, the real ones, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just try, you know, I hadn't bought the real ones in a while because like I said, it was just getting pricey. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go grocery shopping tomorrow and I'm just gonna buy a couple of real ones just to like double check that these Amazon ones actually work, right? So literally, she told us that day, I think it was 2 days later, I went to the city to get groceries, bought real tests, came back and took one. This was in December again, and it was freaking positive. I was like sitting on the toilet like, you have got to be kidding me, universe. What? So Steven's working out downstairs. This was like literally 2 days after Sarah had told us she was pregnant. Run downstairs, showed Steven, I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, what? Honestly, neither of us could believe it. Like, December, another December, and then exactly 2 years later, we find out we're pregnant, exactly 2 days after his sister. It was just insane. And so when you see Steven's mom's reaction in the video, that's why. Because she had already known Sarah and Spencer were pregnant, and we dropped the bomb that, hey, at the same time, you're gonna have another grandkid. So that was a big excitement at Christmas because everybody was so excited for them, and then, hey, there's gonna be another grandbaby too. Crazy. And then, so originally we thought she was due at like the start of August and I was due probably mid to end of August. But because of the postpartum amenorrhea, the timing's off, right? They teach you to take from the last or the start of your last period and you can time it out. But I'm like, it's not really accurate for me. I've only ever had like one period in the past 2 years, right? So I knew I'd have to wait for an ultrasound to actually figure out how far along I was. So the first ultrasound we got sent for was too early because again, I could have been like 8 weeks, but when I went it was like 5 weeks. So it was too early to tell. So we went again. Get this. Sarah goes first. She goes for her ultrasound on a Friday and I go on a Monday. So she went on a Friday and finds out she's 8 weeks and 5 days and due on August 20th. I go on Monday, you guys, find out I'm 8 weeks and 5 days. Both of us had our ultrasound at 8 weeks and 5 days exactly. And I'm due August 22nd. Both babies are good, heartbeats were good, everything's perfect. And I go for a follow-up with my doctor in a couple weeks just to make sure everything's okay, progesterone levels are good, everything's good. But that's, I swear to God, I don't know, something was looking out for us. The way things worked out could not have been more perfect, but more creepy and scary, and like seriously, it could be a movie. I can't believe how it's played out with lining up every single December with Sarah's pregnancy, with the ultrasounds, with all of that. It'll be about a year older than my nephew, my sister's boy Atlas, pretty much a year. And you know, it was a stressful 2 years, but for some reason I always thought it would pan out. When it's the right time, it'll pan out. And thankfully with science, if it doesn't pan out, we have that. That fear is always in the back of your mind. Like, what if I'm one of those people that legit nothing works for? That was my fear. And that's why I kept pushing to get things figured out and not wait. I waited for a whole year and I was encouraged to keep waiting, but that second year was all about trial and error. It was about holistic doctors, it was about seed cycling, it was about supplements, it was about acupuncture, it was about blood work, it was about seeing a specialist multiple times, it was about playing around with my diet, it was about playing around with my exercise, my sleep. I experimented with everything and researched a ton. And what made this post-pill amenorrhea, so post-pill amenorrhea, obviously I should say, is when you stop taking birth control and you have amenorrhea. You don't have a cycle, you don't have any blood flow, you don't have a period for 2 years like me. So what triggered it in the end of October to come, I don't know. I don't know if it was one of those things throughout the year. I don't know if it was just my body took almost 2 years to adjust. I don't know. Everybody's body is so different. My older sister stopped birth control and was pregnant in like a week. So it just depends. Everybody's body is so different. This is just my story. And I struggled to find a lot about post-pill amenorrhea. There were some forums and some chats, but for the most part, there weren't a lot of videos or people sharing how they've gone through it or how they figured it out or what they tried or what worked or what didn't work. It was, I don't know, just a lot of unknowns. So when I opened up about this and, you know, my era, I think my age group of people, birth control was a big thing. And like I said, what I learned in that book about taking control of your fertility, I would do things a lot differently now. I probably wouldn't have taken birth control for 10 years. But in our era, like that was what you did, right? So that's kind of who my following is on Instagram, on Facebook. That's who I work with. That's who's on my team, those people. So the interest was there. They're like, yes, you know, I struggle with this, or we're looking to start a family in a couple of years. Like, I would like to know about this. So that's what kind of sparked this video. I hope this helped. If it does, let me know. Share it. If you know somebody who could relate to this, who it could help, please send it to them. Give it a thumbs up. I would love to get the ranking of it high in YouTube so people can actually find information on post-pill amenorrhea and infertility this way. You know, you hear about infertility in other forms, but not a lot in this way. I just want to get this message out there a lot more. So again, I hope this helped. I hope it kind of gives you some hope if you're going through it too, and trust that everything will work out. I did a lot of visualization, not to sound like too airy, but I think that's really important too. I think law of attraction, again, as out there as it may seem, getting your mindset in the right place. This is as much mental as it is physical. And if you follow me, you know that that's the thing for me. It's the mental thing. It's the physical will come if this is here. So please share this out with everybody. Please comment below. Ask questions if you have. Let me know if this helped. I'm more than happy to answer anything and everything. Again, my name is Morgan Rieger. You can find me YouTube, you can find me Instagram, you can find me Facebook, mostly on my website, www.morganrieger.com. I've got a free email list on there called Morgan's Free PD Club. PD is just personal development. Mental, you can sign up for that. I send out regular emails, I blog regularly, and you know, helping people was my passion when I became a teacher. And when I left teaching to be a Beachbody coach, my passion still stuck with me. It's just to help people. It's just in a different setting now. So I hope this helped, and I will see you guys later.